Hello, everyone. Welcome to Collector Chatter. I'm your host, Miguel, here with my co-host, Charlie. And this week we have a jam-packed episode, which we're going to cover all the latest Funko news and rumors.
I'm so pumped for this episode, so let's chat.
And in this week's episode, we're going to talk about, like I said, the news. The latest news was pretty good. I guess it wasn't it's been a little while. I mean, if you guys know, we've been away. I was away. I was on vacation. So, a little bit of time to just disconnect from everything. But I'm happy to be back. I'm happy to be talking about everything. And this week we had some pretty good stuff in the news front when it comes to Funko. But right off the bat, I have to say this because we talked about this in previous episodes. If you guys have not checked out our sports episode when we went into this, and I said, this is the number one pop we need to make. How is this not being made? Even Charlie, who is a Mets fan and not a Yankees fan, said the same thing himself. And we are finally, at least based off of some pictures, getting a Derek Jeter Funko Pop.
Finally.
And it's about damn time.
And it's a Funko Shop exclusive. So they're making it feel, and it's cool. It's under the Sports Legends, which I also really liked. I know we were saying not the best molds, it's pretty basic. But regardless, it's still awesome to get a Derek Jeter Pop.
Yeah, I'm just happy that we're finally getting one, honestly. But like you said, it's a Sports Legends one, which is cool. I'm glad they did that. It makes a little more sense, I guess. Obviously, retired, whole thing, that kind of thing. So, like, make them Sports Legend. That's perfectly content with that. I just do think it is a little lazy. It's a very generic standing. A lot of other baseball MLB pops have come out, look exactly like this. And if you didn't look at the jersey and see the number 2, like, he could easily be another person. I think there was enough iconic, like, stances and stuff, whether it's defensively or batting, that you can make and you would know it was Derek Jeter. They didn't do that, but I'm just happy that they finally have one. I think it's interesting that it's a Funko Shop exclusive. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think we have many sports if one. Not MLB, Funko Shop exclusives. So
I think it could be the first one.
That was pretty interesting. And it's cool because it makes it a little bit, like you said, it makes it a little bit more special, I guess you could say, because it's not just your regular common pop, which I think makes it cool that they did that finally. Maybe we'll get some more sports pops that are Funko Shop exclusives. But right off the bat, this was one of the things that I know when we saw it, we were talking about it. I was like, this is awesome. And we we were like, they need to make one.
Do you think it'll be a hot seller or it'll just sit in the Funko Shop?
It's hard to tell. I think sports pops are just like so hit or miss with people, and I don't think it's as big as we like want it to be. So I feel like it may sit around. Like, who knows? We've spoken in the past when it comes to Funko Shop exclusives. Like, they're not like necessarily like super limited. They just have a sticker on them, and they're only sold on Funko. In my opinion, that's what's making it an exclusive. So it could be something that'll sit around. I mean, there's still to this day Funko Shop exclusives that have been out there for months that are still not sold out. So I could see that happening, but that's fine. I'm gonna get it as soon as I can. I mean, whenever it does drop out, I'll definitely be going after it. But it's for sure something that I'm very excited for, that I saw this week in the news.
Yeah, I think for me, the thing I was the most excited for actually is the next NFT drop, which is going to be Kellogg's, which is, I know there's some people think this is like a dumb one. Like, it fits perfectly with Funko with their ad icons. And I like that it's like a Kellogg's line. It's not just all ad icons, which makes me feel like we'll probably get other ones like this. But I'm super excited, and it's a smaller drop again. So I'm curious if that means, one, it sells out even faster since NFTs have become huge, or they're like, we don't think there's going to be much demand for this one, so we're going to make it a smaller set. Like, I think I've been reading, like, people think it's going both ways. I don't think it matters anymore what the drop is, in my opinion. Everyone's just kind of buying them. Like, when Bob Ross came out, that's the only one that hasn't sold out. And we had talked about that, and like, I feel like there's many reasons for why that happened, but I just think those days are over.
Yeah, I think that was also back when it was essentially kind of before the hype. Like,
exactly.
Now everything has been very, like, exciting, or just the hype in general has been so big that pretty much everything's selling out super fast. Now, this being a limited run, like, it's a lot smaller, like, especially coming after DC, which was an enormous amount of packs. This one being a smaller one is going to be interesting. Now, is it as popular, or does that mean like as many people are going to want to go after it? Maybe not, but I think enough to sell it out. If I had to choose, like let's say hype didn't matter, it was just across the board, people were going to get NFTs. I wanted to get NFTs. I would say Kellogg's probably would be more popular and sell out more than Bob Ross, for instance, like what you mentioned. So like I could still see it being something that sells now. And I totally agree. Like ad icons for Funko is huge. I think ad icons lend perfectly to NFT and like the style of the digital art and everything. So it makes sense. I was a little surprised that it was strictly just like more Kellogg's, not like an overall ad icon thing, but I actually like that. Like you said,
Me too.
It'll make it a little bit more limited in like how many different characters they have versus making it a bigger, wide range of common different ones. And it makes you think like, what else can they do? Like, are they going to continue to do like a different brand that happens to fall into like ad icon, that kind of thing? So it was a little surprising though at first, because I thought they were going to still continue with the whole Warner Brothers like lines and that kind of thing. So I guess we'll see. I mean, it is dropping. If you guys are, listening to this or watching this on YouTube, it actually today, I believe, is when it actually drops, the 31st. So make sure, that you get on there. Hopefully you do get lucky enough to get them, and we'll make sure that, we recap like we always do if we grabbed any ourselves, or if we were lucky enough to, pull anything good. But hopefully you guys do get some cool stuff. I know the redeemables look pretty awesome. The Tony the Tiger one's obviously super cool. But yeah, a little bit more of a limited one, but something that definitely stuck out. And they're pumping them out every month, so we're going to continue to get them, and just another one in that line. Another thing that was exciting for me was we got a ton of like, at least some names that are on this list, and then some just showing that we're going to get a pop in this line, but the Stranger Things line, which obviously, if you guys don't know, Stranger Things, the final season just recently dropped. They dropped, I think, 7 episodes, and then in July there's going to be like the final 2, which are essentially going to be like full length movie length, for the last 2. These are still pretty long, even though they're considered not those. Like they're still going an hour, over an hour, just over. And I love it. Like, this isn't going to be like a spoiler thing or anything, get into super in depth with the show, but I absolutely love the show. I've always loved the show. I think this season, I mean, I'm 3 episodes in. I think you finished the 7 that are already out. But these pops are awesome. There's already some in my mind that I'm like, they need to make this character, and they haven't announced them yet. But like I said, we did see a leak of like pop 10, pop 12, like where it says that there's going to be a pop. So I'm sure they're going to come out with a lot more of these new characters, and these new, like, things that are coming out in the show. But seems pretty cool. Obviously, the line initially already came out with a wave for this new season, which is,
which isn't small.
The main ones. Yeah, you get all the main kids like you normally do. If you guys are watching here on YouTube, these 3 rows here are pretty much season 1, 2, and 3 of Stranger Things. I love the Stranger Things pops, and I think they blend perfectly with all the characters.
And the one thing
and stuff
that like it works so perfectly for pops too, what you can get excited for, even though we always get new ones of the main characters. The one thing Stranger Things does better than like any show, in my opinion, is they introduce so many new characters every season so organically. They don't feel forced. Some of them become like, some of the new characters in the new season I love, and like, you're going to get a pop of them, and it's just, I think that makes the Stranger Things line actually one of the stronger, bigger Funko Pop lines. It's not as huge as Marvel, obviously, but they do pump them out every season. And I also feel like we'll probably get some con exclusives of some like random characters that are barely in the show, but they're worthy of getting a pop. So I just want to say that I just think this show lends so perfectly to that.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. And I think they usually hit it out of the park with like the con exclusives. Like
they do.
They usually come out with one, and they're always popular. They hold great value most of the time if you're into that. So it's definitely like a line that, like you said, you can get your common general one, you can get the grail, and they do a really good job of getting all these characters in there, like you said. And yeah, I'm just excited to see like the rest of the episodes, and then also like who and what style and whatever they're going to do with some of these pops. But yeah, that was one of the lines that like right off the bat I was kind of like, yeah, this is gonna obviously be a big line. Every season they've kind of made them pretty
Yes.
big. So this one will just kind of add to that in terms of like a new big wave, at least that's coming out for show
Uh,
pops.
Yeah, another cool thing that we now saw, the next Marvel Collector Core box is going to be for Thor: Love and Thunder. Um, no surprise there. It's what I would have expected it to be. I'm just curious. I feel like based off the first wave that's been announced for Thor, it's pretty big. I'm thinking we're just gonna get like another Thor pop with a random pose. Like I feel like I know we've been saying this in the past, but like the days of like getting like super cool special pops in the Marvel box, unfortunately, is over. I still subscribe to it. It's not that I don't like it, but it just does upset me, especially seeing like the Multiverse of Madness pop box, which I
Yeah.
haven't gotten in yet, but like there's so many other things they could have done. Like we didn't need another Doctor Strange. They're both actually of Doctor Strange.
Too, yeah.
I know he's the title character, but there's so many characters in the movie. But I'm still
Yeah.
excited for the box. But I mean, do you agree? Do you think it'll have anything
Yeah,
special?
I've
Or just
thought this for like a little while, and I was like, maybe it'll change, but like every box has continued to stay along these lines where it's like it's a cool box. You know, price point is great. You get two pops out of it. You usually get a t-shirt. You'll get like, small things, pins, pencils, pads, things like that, which is cool. So like that aspect of it is fine. But if you're looking for, okay, this is exclusive and it has exclusive sticker, which it does. It says the Marvel Collector Core box on it, and you're gonna get like this crazy pop that's gonna just be amazing. Like that kind of isn't happening anymore. And it's sad because that's like a perfect way of them to get it in there. It's obviously a somewhat limited run, and you have to be, go through subscribe through Amazon to get through it to get to these boxes. And they're just like dropping the ball on that, and they're just making it like another way of just throwing out another, in my opinion, another like common pop. Basically, it
yeah,
just happens to have a sticker on it, and it's not anything unique or special or anything. And like, not that it has to be like a crazy con style pop, but I mean, there's definitely better ways that they could be doing these boxes like they did in the past, and they've done it before. So it's not like it's out of nowhere. And like some of the old pops in the old boxes are some grails now. Like if you think about it, and
they
lately, I
are.
mean, they've really been dropping the ball on like some of these. So yeah, I agree. Thor: Love and Thunder looks amazing. I think there's going to be so many different characters they can use. I think the lines are going to be enormous, like you said. I think just the pure like the amount of characters that are in the movie and like the colors and everything, those will all lend great to pops. But yeah, like you said, they're probably going to come out with another version of Thor or a different outfit or just a stance, which maybe hopefully it's cool, but like you said, it might not be. And like it's sad
Yeah.
that continues to happen. But we did get the announcement that that's like the next box. We just don't know the leaks or anything what's going on yet on what's in that box, but definitely keep an eye out for that. There has been a lot of like different leaks in terms of like a lot of pictures popping up. It's kind of interesting because most of the time they're in like stores and stuff, and I'm like, how are these people getting some of this stuff? And one of the things was actually new soda, which I think we had rumored a while back that this was gonna drop. And it is a new Batman one, but it's a Red Sun Batman, and we actually saw a
Yeah.
picture of like the can and the soda on the art on the back of it, which is pretty cool. It's funny because it's like the OG Batman mold, but
Yeah.
they
I was
just threw on the little like hat that he wears. I always thought the red Batman like style like that, a Red Sun one. I always thought it was kind of like a little weird and like not the best looking. Like I know they make the normal pop version of it, that whole like storyline or whatever. But throwing it on a soda was like it's funny, it's cool because Batman, they've done that a lot where you'll get kind of like obviously Batman Beyond, and we get the Batman Who Laughs. So we get those like side storylines that you don't really think about right away when you think of Batman. So that's what this one kind of is.
yeah.
But they kept it with the OG like fat face Batman and just threw on like the outfit,
Yeah, I
which
was
I don't know, I
surprised
thought it
by
was a little
that.
weird.
I thought we were gonna get a new mold. Yeah, it's I don't have the original Batman one, so it's like I would have gotten this anyway, but it's like, okay,
Yeah.
at least it kind of looks like the OG one. But yeah, I think
Yeah,
it's
I'll
I
still get
also
it. I think it's cool.
I want them to come up with Batman like movie versions of sodas. Like I don't get why we
Yeah.
haven't gotten that yet.
I am surprised about that we haven't seen any at all. We've got those old original Batmans, and like I said, they did come out with Batman Beyond and Batman Who Laughs. So like those have been out, but we have no movie style ones yet at all, which is a bit surprising. But maybe they'll come out with it because they kind of been spread out with these Batman releases. So
Yeah.
I mean,
It's also interesting while we're talking about sodas real quick. There's something that I had noticed recently that we've talked in the past how like sometimes they'll come out with like a soda from a movie and they kind of continuously finish that line throughout. And it'll probably be from that one movie. They're not going to like go all over the place. But I don't know if you noticed with the new Stranger Things Dustin soda, it's actually Dustin from the new season,
yeah.
where the 11 is from like the first or second season, which is interesting that they did that. Because they haven't really done that before with any of the other like sodas, in my opinion.
Yeah. No, they have. I was gonna say they definitely have. Like normally, what'll happen is like maybe they won't finish a line because we've seen that happen already. Like the prime example is the damn freaking. Oh my god, I'm kid trying Kiss. The Kiss
Oh, yep.
sodas, they came out with like two members and never came out. Maybe there's a licensing issue or whatever, but like that's like one that I was thinking about. Like they didn't even finish that line. So and they have the pops, but they don't have them in sodas. So like that usually will happen once in a while. But yeah, like you said, they'll kind of lend to one. The only other one that's a little different is Marvel, which we talked about how sometimes it'll
Yes.
go comics, sometimes it'll go MCU, and it kind of bounce back and forth. But that's kind of like a bigger thing. Like, yeah, Stranger Things is an interesting one because it's like it is one show. So I mean you could be like, oh well, I have an 11, I have a Dustin. But like when you're like a hardcore person, you know the way, especially the way that show is, each season's like a different time period. Each season's like
Yes.
a different type of time
Which
of the
is why the
year.
pops of the same characters just work because they're
Exactly.
new.
So exactly. So like that, and like that's why I said like, I broke these down in by seasons because like you can see a Mike, or Dustin, and but you know that they're different because their outfits or whatever it is was for that season. So like it is interesting. Obviously, the Dustin one was announced, so it's not out yet, but it's announced and it's going to drop essentially in the hype now of the new season. So it makes sense. Like it fits into that.
Exactly.
But it was interesting that they started with 11, which of course would probably be the most popular anyways, but it was an older version. And then I did this one. They also actually did this with, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, with the Umbrella Academy.
They did, but here's why where I can say they can get around it because they made number 5 and he wears the same thing in every
True.
season. But I can't think of his name now off the top of my head.
Klaus is the
Klaus,
next one.
he's
Yeah.
definitely the second season look of his like
Which his look completely
changed. So yeah, they probably, yeah, I guess they did do that with the Umbrella Academy too, but the number 5 you can say is from any quote unquote.
Which
they
makes
started with the
sense.
second season.
Yeah. But it's weird with sodas, I guess, that happen to do with shows that have seasons.
Yes.
I think that's where it gets a little confusing because if you're a hardcore fan of the show, you know the transitions and the differences of the seasons, that it's not like a movie that they can just randomly drop throughout, different sodas from the same movie type of thing, where it's like if a new season comes out, like you're already thinking of the new characters from that season. So then like if you come out with an old season of the soda and then a new one, it is a little weird.
I'm just curious now that you bring up Umbrella Academy, if we get a Vanya soda, what that'll be, because that character's changing in the new season because of the,
which I actually think is interesting in general, because when it comes to the pops, what's going to happen. And then even with the show, like I don't obviously if you guys watch Umbrella Academy, the third season around, right?
Yep.
The trailer came out, and even during that, it still looks like, I believe this was being filmed during that transition, if not like before and then maybe after. So I'm sure even the show itself is going to deal with that in a certain way. Who knows? But yeah, with the sodas, I don't know. We'll see. Like, are we going to get every single one of them? Because they've kind of spread out. We only got 5, and then the Klaus one was announced. But I don't know. I guess we'll see. That line's obviously another whole. I could see that in a very similar light to Stranger Things, where it's like it's a big enough line, it's got enough people you can add to it. But yeah, that's an interesting one to for sure to see what they're going to do with some more of those going forward. And then we also had there was a bunch of Loki, which is so funny that because we talked about Loki and we talked about how like they stopped making things, and then out of nowhere they had the post of Loki from in the con, and like this isn't a show of all of them that's kind of they've revisited it multiple times, and I believe there's going to be a second season, right? Is that official, or does that's kind of like the word
That's
on?
official. That's 100%. It's actually, they had recently announced during like the Disney Plus upfronts that it is the most watched Marvel show, which is
Wow.
ironic that it is getting a second season, but definitely happening. I think it's probably going to start production soon.
Yeah, so that makes sense to kind of it's still going to be around, but we're getting stuff tied back. But I did see a few like leaks and stuff like that. We got a pop in the box exclusive Lady Loki. We got this one was cool. It's a picture that has leaked. I believe this is a San Diego Comic-Con pop, which was Loki and Sylvie movie moment or
Yep.
show moment, whatever you want to call it. But that seems pretty cool for sure. And then kind of wanted to just transition then into one of the biggest rumors that is out there right now is the leaks that are happening for San Diego Comic-Con.
Yes.
And these are like pretty heavy. Like I said, the Sylvie Loki one, like it's kind of crazy the way the leaks work. I know we spoke about this before, but like the fact that some of these people get these pictures or get these like, and like they're obviously grainy and they're not supposed to be, and like we're getting like actual pictures now with this one. What I found was interesting is that most of them have been actually like out of box pictures that we're getting a lot of the
Yes.
pops, where it's pretty interesting that we're getting it that way. But what did you think of some of the stuff just right off the bat that's supposedly rumored for this year's Comic-Con?
I mean, I'm pretty pumped because I think we're getting an Andor pop, we're getting an Obi-Wan pop, we are getting, I think, Kang pop finally.
Yeah.
I I even think one thing I really like too is we're going to be getting, I think, the first House of the Dragon Funko Pop, which is the new Game of Thrones spinoff. I love when the first pop of a line like comes out at a con. I just
Hmm.
feel like that makes that pop more desirable. If you're into that, and it's like, okay, this is the first one that came out standalone because it didn't just drop with the whole common line.
Yeah.
Those are just off. I mean, there's a lot of good ones. There's Batman returns Penguin and the Duck, which is like
Yes, which that thing
amazing.
looks sick. Yeah, that's like one that you're like you see why they would make that. It's obviously, if you know the movie, Penguin getting into the giant duck when he rode away with all the penguin stuff. So that's definitely a super cool one. There was honestly like it was a lot of anime. It's pretty heavy with some
Yep.
big anime ones, which usually the cons they'll do that. There always is some type of anime, especially I feel like San Diego Comic Con. I feel like there is a
I feel
Goku
like there's
one,
just going to be a
but there's
ton of
always a
anime
Dragon
now.
Ball Z one, like no matter what. But yeah, now we got some of these newer anime that are kind of like peeking into like getting into these bigger like events and stuff. But we also got some DC stuff like an Aquaman. We got a Superman, which we actually got a leak of like the Superman pop
Yeah.
of the actual. That was one of the ones I was talking about where it's out of the box. So
A
some pretty cool
Bambi
stuff
one.
there. But yeah, Bambi. We got
Actually,
another
though,
Loki, the clock.
yeah,
Forgot the name of
which is I think
the
a
clock
10
from Loki.
inch.
Yeah, which
Um,
that's gonna be pretty awesome.
but actually now I'm forgetting. I think my favorite one, which I'm assuming is going to become one at every major con going forward to complete the set, is a mashup between Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and Power Rangers.
Oh
And
yeah,
one of the rumors,
which those action figures exist.
they do, yeah, and it's been like a
Yeah,
comic. I just think these are going to be awesome. Those were my two of my favorite things growing up, which I know I've mentioned in the past. And it looks like the first one's going to be like Leonardo, and he looks like the Blue Ranger.
the Blue Ranger. Yeah.
I just think that is like such a fun, cool pop, perfect for Comic-Con because like that really is for like a sweaty fan. It's not like this should not be a common release.
Yeah,
I just think
which
this
is
is
perfect.
awesome.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
perfect that they're gonna do it that way. Then we also another line was like a Sonic the Hedgehog, which we usually get a lot of those on cons, so we'll see something there. Even Doctor Strange and Multiverse Madness, so which is interesting because maybe we'll get one of those big like cameo type pops
I
in a
hope
San Diego
because
Comic Con because that's when it should be because we didn't get anything really for this line,
the rumored
other than
pop
your
is
general stuff.
another American Chavez. Like, no offense, I don't need another
Yeah, if
pop
that's
of
the
her.
one. It'll be, I don't know, man. That would be a miss because yeah, we already have it. We don't need another one.
And
That's
we already have
that's what I think
two.
about when it comes to like con stuff. It's like we don't need a duplicate of a, if it's in a show or a movie where there's multiple characters, like make the con one a different character. Like just do that. Like some of the ones that like they do well on like for that is, and I'm looking at it right here, is like I don't know his name because I'm not a huge hardcore fan of the show. Like I don't watch it that much, but The Simpsons.
Yep.
Like they always come out with one and it's usually a different character. It'll be something like very different. So like now they have the one like punk kid with the hat on. I don't know his name.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
We'll show it up if anything. Um but like that's a cool thing that they do. And then like you said, the Kang pop, like, and they should have already had that, but at least we're getting like as a con. Awesome. Makes sense to make them as a con one. That makes it even cooler. And then we're also getting the girl from Moon Knight, where
Oh yeah, I
I
forgot
think
that
there is a pop of her, right? Or
not
was
if
there
I mean spoilers if you haven't watched the show.
just her as
Just
herself,
her normal, not when
yeah,
she turns into a superhero.
like a superhero, yeah. So totally cool. But overall, some pretty good stuff. Definitely some exclusive type stuff for sure. So usually with San Diego Comic Con, they do more. I'm assuming there might be more. Maybe we'll get some sodas, that kind of thing. So like there's gonna be more details, of course, because this is like again just leaks and some rumors and stuff that are just kind of getting out there little by little now. But we'll definitely be on the lookout for more stuff for sure for SDCC for this year. But that's really which is going to be
In July.
kind of soon, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
pretty soon. Yeah,
Time is flying.
month. Yeah, so
Before you know, it'll be New York Comic Con in October.
New York in the fall. Can't wait. But we want to end the news actually with the Obi-Wan pops.
Yes.
So that we want to go into because we do want to transition to some awesome Star Wars news. But Obi-Wan pops, what do you think about these?
I mean, I love what we saw. I loved. I think we're going to be getting, because we're doing Obi-Wan Wednesdays when all new merchandise comes out. So just like they've been doing with the Marvel Disney Plus shows, I think we're going to be getting that with Obi-Wan. I think they started it out with like who I would have expected. Obi-Wan, Vader, and Reva. And I love them all. Like I know Vader, we have tons of Vader pops. He's like one of my all-time Vader characters, especially if you're, an inbox collector. Like it looks different. It's got the Obi-Wan, love like the show look. And I love the Obi-Wan pop in general because he has a different look in this show. So, it has his more like has been hidden, kind of beaten down look. And I love this pop. I want this in my collection already. I don't even care that it's a common. And they came out with a deluxe where he's riding the if you haven't seen the show, but it's been in the trailers, like it kind of looks just like a horse. And then Reva, she's one of the Inquisitors. She's one of the main ones within this story. She's a new character that's been made for this show. So I thought it was a great opening like launch for the show. And then we got 2 pop keychains as well of Vader and Obi-Wan.
Yeah, which was cool. And they actually, this line dropped before the show, right?
It did. Yep.
Yeah, so they did drop it before the show, so it wasn't like really spoiler-ish. It was more just like a generic thing, just an introduction into this line. I just want to see kind of where they go with this line, because we spoke about a previous, Star Wars show, like the Book of Boba Fett, how they didn't really make that line big. Like they kind of came out that introductory one, the first 2 pops, whatever, and I was like, they didn't really go anywhere from there. I think this line, there's enough. I think there's obviously a little bit more characters that I feel like they can use. After watching, the first 2 episodes and everything, you see more that you're like, wow, that could totally be a pop type of thing. But yeah, awesome to start off. We're getting another Obi-Wan pop, but it's like you said, it fits more into this time and into this show, and it's going to be different enough from the rest of them. I do think it's hilarious about Darth Vader because, like, to me, like they really are almost all the same, and like the pose, even like it literally almost never changes. So it's like I don't know if they can do much more with that because he's not, it's like he's in a certain outfit that you can't really do too much, but they do always look great. Like I think it lends perfect to a pop, like the Vader helmet and everything. Anyways,
it seems more detailed. I really
cool.
like zoomed in on the pictures and stuff. I know you can't get much more detail, but I do think things will happen in this show that can give us different type of Vader pops. or I'm
Yes,
hoping.
which that would be cool. And that's something that obviously, if it does, based off the show, they need to take advantage of it to try to get a different look out there for Vader,
Yes.
if that's the case. But yeah, definitely an awesome pop. And I mean, definitely check out the show if you guys have not watched it yet. But it's definitely something that we're very excited for, especially in the Funko world, because we know Star Wars is huge with Funko. So when they got a big show like this, a massive Disney Plus show, then they're obviously gonna take advantage of it. I just, like I said, I'd be surprised if they went the Boba Fett route and just really didn't, come out with anything
I
else.
can already count like 5 pops on my hand within the first 2 episodes that they can make. Like, yeah, I feel like they're trying to keep some, even though there's characters in the trailer that we know are like, there's Inquisitors are all in the trailer, not just Riva. Like,
Yeah,
we're gonna get pops of those. There's just no way we're not.
yeah,
I feel like this is like a marketing strategy actually with Funko and Disney that we've said they do with these Disney Plus shows. They don't like the movies, they drop them all once, which we complain all the time. It's like, this is a huge wave. Like, these may become big waves, but they happen over a course of a few months and weeks, so it doesn't seem as big up front. And I love that. So just
yeah.
like even Moon Knight, even though the Moon Knight ones got repetitive because they just were glow in the dark, but I don't think this will happen for this show, and we'll just get new ones every week.
Yeah. So excited to see what we see. Let us know what you think about the Obi-Wan pops, and what ones you want to see if you watch the show, which ones you want them to see make into Funko Pops, or maybe we'll get soda.
Yeah.
Who knows?
I feel like we should, yeah, we should get
We
to
should,
this.
right?
We should.
All right, but that's gonna wrap it up for the news now this week. Until next week, we'll be back again with more news like always, and we'll make sure to tell you the latest stuff that's going on.